Justin Adakonis. We're gonna break down his onboard of his maiden victory, right, Justin?
Yep. Yeah, first one MX5 Cup, so
First.
it's very special to me to be able to break it down here. There's a lot going on in this one, so should be a fun one to break down.
But yeah, we also got Charles Moore on here as well. I would call Charles Moore my resident motorsport expert. So we've called the big guns here.
Yeah, wannabe
Yeah,
race
absolutely.
car
So
driver right here. Yeah, it's my parents' fault that I'm not a successful racing driver, but at least I enjoy it. So.
Oh yeah.
This is the driver's seat, the Horses and Horsepower series.
All right, Justin, set the scene for us. We're down in Florida, right? And kind of give us what's kind of going through your head as this race begins.
yeah, so the start. This is the second round, second race weekend of the Wheel and Mazda MX5 Cup Series. We are here at St. Petersburg, Florida, at the St. Petersburg Street Circuit with IndyCar. This one I'm gonna be showing is race two. The race one, unfortunately, did not go our way. I was in second place, and then we had a transponder short out due to the rain. So they made me pit to fix it, and it just killed the race from there. Wanted to rebound in race two. I was starting from the pole, so we had a really good starting spot. We had a ton of speed all week. Really fast in practice, really fast in qualifying, really fast in race one until the issue hit. But just really, I wanted to rebound here and have a clean finish. Was hoping to get my first win. We all knew it was possible. We knew we had a ton of speed. So start here. So we starting on the pole. The first little bit of the race actually went by pretty quick. We um went from starting the race on the pole to, I believe we had a yellow on the first lap. My teammate got in an incident, so that was unfortunate. Yeah, at the start of the race, got passed around the outside in turn one. Just I overslowed and didn't warm my tires up enough to have enough grip through turn one, which caused me to get passed through turn one. So then moving forward, we have this lengthy yellow, and then we'll move on to the
So so this is like your first time on pole in MX5 Cup?
second time. So,
Second time, okay.
last year at VAR was my first pole position. So this is my second one, but it was pretty cool. They start Motul sponsored the series this year, so we get our own Motul Pool Award. So I got a little banner and sticker and everything that confirmed it. So that was pretty cool to have on there. Um, then we'll
Badass.
move.
Did you learn anything from like the first time you were on pole that you were trying to apply here? And then I guess what'd you learn from this experience?
Yeah, definitely. That's a great question. My first time I was on pole, I kind of made the mistake of being too complacent and falling too far backward too early. The one of the big benefits of being on pole is that you're leading, so you get to control the race. So being pole here, especially at a street course, you really get to control the race, you get to control the pace, and you get to control everything that's going on around you. So when you get out front, unfortunately I didn't lead after turn one this one, but normally when you're on pole and you lead the first lap, and then that's when you can settle in and you can kind of dictate the speed of the cars around you and dictate everything that's going on. The first race when I was on pole at VIR last year, I got on pole and I was just too jumpy. I was too like excited to lead laps and get up front, and that just caused me to make a couple mistakes and fall back. And then unfortunately, I had a mechanical issue later on in that race that killed that race. But, I definitely took a lot of lessons from that. And coming in my second time on pole here, I felt a lot more comfortable. Definitely, it's a different experience leading a race, especially when you're leading from the pole. Just you see a lot of different things. You don't have that reference of the car in front of you. So have it being up front, it's different. It takes a lot of learning, and a lot of trial and error. But definitely use that experience from last year, to benefit me here. So we'll move on to the restart here. We do single file restarts in the series. Restart zones off of this last corner here. So just trying to get a good restart, focusing a lot on trying to time it to know when Bobby, who's the car in front of me, when he's going to go, and just trying to stay on his bumper. And you could see even try to diamond off the corner as well. Like try to get a good exit onto the front straight. This is the main goal on these restarts. So the safety car pulls in, we go here. Had a pretty good jump. Stayed right on the back bumper of Bobby. Now I'm looking to make a move in turn one. I know I'm faster. I know I want to be up front. He defends low, I go high, and then I pretty much do the same thing that he did to me on the opening lap of the race, where I just drive in really deep. I had a little bit of contact there, but I was able to hold the outside and get around him, which is really cool. You can see my mirror here. Jared followed me through, so now it's me and then Jared who are up front in this race. And we'll skip ahead a little bit here. Jared actually gets around me going into turn 4 a few laps later. My goal through this race was just, like I said earlier, was just to be complacent and control the speed of the race. And so when you're in a 45-minute race, it's really not a long time for races, but like in a car like this, the cars get hot, the tires get hot, so you want to control what you have, and you want to make sure you have the resources, and you want to have the tire grip, and you want to have the brake grip at the end of the race to make those moves when it comes down to it. And so I was trying to just drive 80-90%, just make sure I have some speed at the end. So Jared was doing a good job pushing me along for a little bit, and we were building a gap. I believe we had a 4-car gap at this point, so we had the top 4 cars pulling away. And then Jared goes for the move here. I try to defend pretty hard, it's especially at a street course where passing comes at a premium. I really wanted to stay up front, and I really wanted to keep leading laps because the car gets very hot when you're sitting behind another car. You don't have that clean air when you're leading that to cool the car down. So trying to defend as hard as I can here with Jared. He ended up getting by me right here. I tried to fight it off as long as I could. Um, Honestly, if I went back to this now, I probably wouldn't have fought with him as hard as I could, just because I put myself in a very dangerous position being on the outside of these fast 2 corners. He very easily could have put me in the wall and caused me damage that would have put me out of the race. I got very lucky that Jared's a very nice guy. He's a very smart racer. He knows how to race people around him. So I got very lucky that he didn't drive me too hard and put me in the wall here.
Yeah,
But
maybe you could pause for a second, like
yeah.
just go if you want to just like go like I don't know if you want to do turn by turn or like maybe for the next like half, maybe probably turn by turn. There's not that many. Kind of take us through like I think it'd be cool to understand what's going through your mind, um, as you're progressing through a lap. Like you're either when you're in the lead, and then like if you're behind, like which are the key parts of the track where you want to be either defending or you want to be in full attack mode.
Yeah. Yeah, so this next lap or next lap and a half, actually, this is where Jared and I have a pretty big battle for the lead. So I can go through and just go through some of my thoughts in my head and braking references and all that cool stuff for each corner. Coming through here, this is the kink of the straightaway, so this not really much of a corner, but coming down into, I believe this is turn 10. Looking for about the 300 board, so they've got marked numbers on the wall that show you references, and so here we're looking for the 300 board, and this is a corner where it's very technical. The wall comes up on you very quickly on the exit, so you really want to be very careful on your entry that you're not going to drive in too hard, especially in a car like this where you get, the brakes start to fade by the end of the race, tires start to fade. You really just don't want to get caught out by one little mistake like that, because this isn't like a regular track where if you go in a little bit too hard, you've got some grass, you got some dirt to run off, and if you go in too deep here at a street course, you're in a wall and your race is done. So it's like, coming here, it's you're trying to really be conservative, but also push at the same time. So looking for the 300 board, releasing the brake quick, go down to first gear, use a little bit of curb. I like to use the curb in this car. Some people don't, some people do. It's just driver preference. Sometimes the curb will help you rotate a little bit better and get you a better drive off the corner. So I like to use it a little bit in that corner. Now we come through here, the S's. You can see Jared's starting to pull away a little bit from me. S's are full throttle. Coming down here, hard braking, one of the most open corners on the track that we have. Coming back down now onto the runway, trying to use the draft off of Jared. Try to pull me back closer to him. I knew I had a lot of speed compared to him, but I think Jared and I were the 2 fastest cars this whole weekend. So when I saw him in front of me, it was good to have like that carrot to chase, which was really exciting. And then I believe we started to pull away from the other 2 cars behind us as well. So now you can see this, I offset my car on the front straightaway. That is primarily just to cool down the tires and cool down the engine. Just get the cool air on the car. because we have brake ducts on the front end of the car, and so getting this cool air that's not behind Jared's, exhaust and all the air he's blocking, getting that cold air on it, that'll help it cool it down, get the temps down, which helps with the performance.
Do you
So
have
now
someone in your ear during the race, like, it's, like, telling you, like, "Hey, manage left front," or manage, rear right?
no, we, get the only data I get is I get engine temps on my dash, and so I'll look at my engine temps and be like, "Okay, the car's getting, too hot." Like, if it gets to, like, 230, 240, that's when I'm like, I really need to start getting clean air and on the radiator. But for other stuff like tire pressure and tire heat, brake heat, we don't really get data on that. You can check tire pressures after you come in the pits, but we don't get live data on that. So I don't have anyone explicitly telling me like your tire's getting hot, like you need to cool it down. But you, as a driver, you can feel when that stuff is starting to go away, when you're starting to lose tire grip. Like you can you'll go through a corner and you'll start to feel the front start to slide away from you, and you're like, okay, I need to take it back a notch. Like I'm pushing too hard now. And then also I do get reminders from my crew that'd be like, just remember, just take care of your stuff. It's a long race, but there's no explicit data that tells you like you're getting too hot in your brakes, you're getting too hot in your tires, like you need to cool it down. It's basically just down to driver feel of knowing where the limit is. So like coming down to turn one here, we're looking for there's a number for the runway. That's our brake reference right past the number on the runway, right before these lines right here. Hard braking down to first gear. In my opinion, one of the most fun corners on the track just because it's so long and it's so technical. There's actually a lot of grip going from the runway to off the runway. It's one of the most fun corners, and you immediately bring it back to the left for this turn two kink, which is flat out, and then into turn three, which is flat out as well. It's a really fun section in these cars. A lot of bumps. It's very high speed. Then coming down in turn four, I see Jared defend, and had the same experience, same exact experience in 2025 when I went to St. Petersburg. So the year before, I made the same exact move, not to Jared, but to another driver, where they made this same block, and I went to the outside, just broke deep, passed around the outside, it's a very dangerous move to make at a street course. You don't have a lot of room for error on the outside. Making that move, it was definitely very sketchy, but it pays off if you can do it right. Just because it's hard, it's very easy to defend on street courses because there's not a lot of room to go, not a lot of room to pass. But if you can make these outside moves pass or make these outside moves work, it's a great pass to make. So I saw him defend and just took the outside where there's a little bit more grip because that's where the cars run, and was able to pinch him down to the curb and get the move done by the next corner. So that was very good. Like I said earlier, I wanted to stay up front. My whole goal was to stay up front as long as I can and keep leading, lead as many laps as I can. And so getting back to the front was crucial to me. Then you can see this corner. I believe this is turn five or turn six. We're looking for, as soon as the car gets straight, that's where we look to hit the brakes. This corner is very fast. It's the double rate section, so you have to get it right. And the car kind of floats down to this apex in the first one, little short straight. And then this one, there's a lot of camber, so there's a lot of compression when you get down in the center of the corner that allows the car to set and dig in and drive off the corner. So it's very fun when you get it right. But the camber is only on the one car length of the inside. It's not on the outside. So if you miss the corner at all, like you miss, you're half a car length off the bottom of the corner, you're gonna wash out into the wall. So it requires a lot of precision to get there. That's just another thing that I love about street racing is that just the precision that's needed to be fast, and all the repetition as well. It's pretty good. Charles, you have a question?
Justin.
Yes.
Yeah, see, I raised my hand. That was good. First off, great move. That was a sick move. Question for me is, in this series, like, how valuable? I know you talked about like overheating and stuff, but is clean air really that important, right? Like, if you get out to the front, it makes a massive difference, or is there any advantage to staying behind and using a slipstream on some of these circuits?
Yes. It definitely depends on the track. Track like St. Petersburg, our cars are very prone to overheating just because the walls keep all the hot air
Right, right.
in. So getting clean air at a track like St. Petersburg is very, very important. Like track like Canadian Tire Motorsports Park, like we're going to in July. It's a very fast track, and there is a lot of draft that's used. So it can be very beneficial to stay behind and use the draft and use the slipstream to push other cars. Because if you watch the Mix-5 Cup race, we do a lot of pack racing. So it's kind of like if you watch like the Daytona 500 and you've got a bunch of cars pushing each other, it's kind of how we race. So it's like if you sit behind another car and push them for longer, you'll go faster. And so sometimes being the second car in line and using the slipstream is more beneficial, especially if you're lacking a little bit of pace, like if you're, a tenth or 2 tenths off where you need to be, and you can just go sit on the bumper of a fast guy and push them down the straightaways and follow them in the corners. It can be very beneficial. But for the most part, when it comes to racing, you always want to be moving forward and you always want to be leading if possible, because if you're going backwards, you're getting past, like it snowballs very fast in the series. I've had experiences last year where I tried to get complacent and tried to, like sit like fifth car in line and wait for something to happen. And as soon as that happens, you're getting passed for sixth, and then everyone behind them is seeing you get passed, and then you're next thing you know, you're in 12th place. So there's pros and cons to it. It definitely comes down to tracks and situations. But at this track in particular, like we always want to be up front and leading if you can.
Interesting.
So now my mindset switches to just try to pull away. It's such a hard series to pull away from since our draft is so big with no roof on the car. So I'm trying my best to drive away here and just hit all my marks I can. And Jared does a good job sitting behind me for a little bit, and we pulled a 2-car gap. And so it was, fortunately for me, this middle part of the race was very boring in the sense of it was just me and Jared driving away from the field. Like we were just putting out lap after lap after lap. So I'll skip ahead to where it gets exciting again.
How much, like, when you're going through that, I feel like for me, it'd be like I would have a tendency to get a little bit like complacent, where it's like obviously like one mistake and you're in the wall there. Speaks to the different type of focus it takes to be on the lead for a number of laps versus have the carrot to chase, like you mentioned earlier.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely like it's a whole different mentality that you need. And it's one that takes a lot of time to learn and master. Like when you're up front, and it's very easy for you to lose focus very fast. You have to be laser focused, just to hit all your marks. And especially when you got Jared Thomas, the guy's behind me right now. He is a 2-time series champion. He's one of the winningest drivers in the series. Like this guy is legit. Like one of the if you make a mistake, he's gonna make you pay for it. So, I was pretty much on top of my game for 40 minutes, and it's tiring. It's very tiring mentally to have to do that, and it's very challenging, especially on a street course where you're already very focused as is. And so it's a whole different
Lonely
ballgame
as
just being out front and try to lead. Yeah, I mean it's like it's so tiring mentally just to have to go 100% every single lap after lap, knowing that there's someone that good behind you. It's insane. So I'll skip ahead here a little bit to this last little stretch of the race.
What was that? Was that a safety car?
Yeah, so that's coming up. That's coming up in a little bit. So at this point now, where I'm just trying to focus and trying to hit all my marks every lap, knowing that I've got Jerry behind me, and I know that time's running down. I believe we have about 10 minutes to go here. I'm trying to count laps on my dash as well. I don't get an exact time counter unless I ask for it, which I try not to, because I don't want that outside thoughts. I try to just keep everything in my head. So we go through turn 1, and now this is the first mistake of the entire 40 minutes that we've raced so far. This was the first mistake I made, which is a terrible time to do it. I missed the bottom of turn 1. I went in too hard in the corner, and so that allowed Jared to get up next to me through this turn 2 and turn 3 section. And at this point, I'm like, shoot, like I just screwed up this whole race. I had run perfectly. I know a lot of drivers say this, but this is probably the most, up to this point, was as perfect as a race as you can run. I had done lap times within like tenths of each other for 35, 40 minutes straight. Just trying to pull away from Jared, and I made this one mistake, and I thought I threw it away. So Jared goes to pass me now in turn 4, and now on the entry, I see him going a little too deep. I hit the brakes a little bit harder, get up next to him on his right side, and then drive it super hard in this turn 5 section. and ended up passing around back around the outside. And so now at this point, I'm like, all right, it's game on now. It's not about lap time. It's strictly about racing. Like we've got, 5 minutes to go. Everything's on the table. I'm just going to block for 5 minutes and everything will be fine. And so it's now you have to switch into that racing mode, not the lap time mode, and not the consistency anymore. You're trying to focus on everything that's happening around you. And so now at this point, I'm looking in my mirror, trying to wait for him to make a move. And then right here, we get a full course caution. So we have a car off track, I believe in turn 5 or turn 6. And so now everything resets. We've got a full yellow, brings the whole field back together. Everyone gets the cooler tires down, cooler engines down. Like basically everything resets, and we're gonna have 5 minutes to go when we go back green. So it's now this is when you're in your head, and when you have these moments of being slow under yellow and you're behind a safety car, and this is when you think you can think to yourself, because the rest of the race you're not thinking, you're just doing. And so now that you have this, 5 minutes to think to yourself in your head about what am I going to do when we go green? What am I going to do? How am I going to block? Jared's coming up behind me. I don't know how much tire I've got left. So this is when you start overthinking things, and it gets very dangerous as a
This is like
driver.
ice in the kicker. It's like ice in the kicker. Like all of a
Yeah.
sudden, like your brain
Yeah.
is taking over.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's like
What was the cheeky wave, Justin? What was that?
that was just letting know that there's a yellow coming up. So let them know we're
Okay,
slowing
you were
up.
being nice. Okay, I thought
He's
you
like,
were taunting Jared behind you.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure that he saw. Yeah, it's they try to grill it in our head to make sure that we signal if we see a yellow, so that everyone knows. I also have these bright yellow gloves, so surely someone will see
Yeah.
that. Then we'll skip to this. So we got this restart coming up now, and so now we luckily it was a pretty quick yellow. I believe we only had a lap under yellow, so it wasn't a lot of time for me to think to myself, but it was enough to where you try to formulate a game plan for yourself, which is never. It's good and bad. Like you never really want to come up with a strict game plan, because stuff never goes to plan in racing. But also at the same time, like you want to have an understanding of what you're going to do so that you could execute it. So I get a good launch coming off the restart, and now it's just defend mode. We've got 3 minutes left. I think it's just strictly defending for that last 3 minutes. So we come down the
How
front
does the
straight.
restart work? Was it you just when it goes green, it's green, or do you dictate anything?
So there's a restart zone. And it's pretty much from the entry to the exit at the last corner, and it's up to the leader's discretion of when you can go. So normally everyone just goes when you get to that point where you can accelerate without having to come back off the throttle on the corner. The point you go full throttle off of it. So that's when I accelerate, but it's up to the leader's discretion of when you can go, and then they'll throw the green once everyone starts rolling, and then that's when you can make moves ahead of line. And so then I come down here and I start blocking Jared, try not to overdrive the corner. Actually, it's one thing that was going through my head is my teammate Jeremy last year in 2025. He was in the same exact position where he led majority of the race, ran a very good race, and then came down to the last restart like this. And he went into turn 1 and completely blew the corner, like straight up, like nearly hit the wall, got passed by like 7 cars. And so I had that picture in my head of like, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to be that guy. Because I was in the meeting when he got yelled at in the trailer after the race. And I was like, that's not going to be me this time. And so I went in turn 1 very, very conservative, making sure I just didn't make any mistakes. And pretty much as long as you get off turn 1 fine, that's when the race really starts. Like turn 1's where stuff gets chaotic. That's when crashes happen. That's where cars come together. So I came off turn 1 fine. I coming in down to turn 4, blocking again all the way down to the bottom. Try not to open anything up too much. Try not to make any mistakes. And now these next few corners aren't really passing zones, so I was able to open back up and drive back normal. Just backing up the corner a lot, trying to focus on exit speed and trying to focus on not making mistakes. Got a good exit there off the second double right. They're coming down the straightaway here. Jared's right in my bumper, I believe. He's right behind me. So I knew he was better than me. He was better than me in this corner the entire race. That was one thing I noticed when I was watching my mirror. I was watching the race back. He was better than me everywhere in this corner, better on the brakes, better on throttle. So I knew if any corner he was going to get me, it was going to be this one. And I knew that when I was going into it, because I threw a pretty big block. Blocked pretty hard here. You can see he tried to go around the outside, but couldn't make it stick. and now we come off a 10 into this S's. This corner coming up, this last corner, I didn't even have it pictured in my head as a passing zone. I thought this corner was, not on the table for passes. I thought that this could be pretty calm for me. I was just gonna be able to drive through there normally and be fine. I opened up a little bit too much, and you can see Jared come flying down the inside. Thought he made the move, and then I did the
Little
same
deep.
exact thing I did earlier, where I just hit the brakes, get it turned, and drive back around him. And now
Switcheroo, I
I
like
didn't
it.
I didn't know that there had been an incident. I thought we were still going green to the end, and so I keep walking, and then right here we get another yellow, and that's what ended the race. Yeah, you can see my hand went out the other side this time. It went out the window this time, but that yellow actually ended the race, which was pretty cool. It's definitely very relieving as a driver where you have a yellow like that, because the last thing you want is like a one lap dash of green flag, because that's when that's the worst thing to happen is if you have an incident during that. So I was very happy they ended the race on your yellow. I would have liked to deal it out a little bit more, but I not my call. So
You earned it. Yeah. You had a few like oh crap moments there for sure.
yeah, yeah,
Proper
it was
battling.
that was definitely one of the craziest races I've been a part of. Just racing someone like Jared, who's so good and so like consistent and so like he's so knowledgeable on this stuff, and just racing against him, it was different ball game for sure. Like everyone is one that you learn from, and I definitely learned a lot from this race. I learned a lot of what not to do, what to do, and how I could be better moving forward. But this race was definitely very chaotic. The middle of the race, like that middle 30 minutes or so, was pretty boring. Watching back, maybe not driving, but watching it back was pretty boring. Just not much going on. Just me putting laps together. But those last two restarts were pretty chaotic for sure.
So I'm gonna share my screen now. What's going through your head when you stand on the podium for the first time? In
Yeah,
the first position.
yeah,
Go.
At
yeah.
least an MX5
go.
Cup.
It was really exciting because this race was during an IndyCar weekend, so there were a lot of IndyCar fans there, and so there was a lot more fans than, well, I wouldn't say a lot more than normal, but there were a lot more different fans that haven't seen us race before, and so when you go to get to the podium, you have to go through like the pit lane and under the past the grandstands on the inside of the track. And so I had there was a line of people on the grandstands yelling to me, trying to get my autograph and pictures and stuff. And I thought that was just the coolest
Damn,
thing,
bro.
because I'm just a regular
Damn.
college kid. I've never this is only my second year racing professionally like this. So seeing people lined up on the stands to try to get pictures and autographs with me was one of the cool experience of my
Suck.
life so far for sure. And then yeah,
Are you
but
old enough to drink
it was
this
really
shit,
cool
man?
just getting over there at the podium. What's that?
Are you old enough to drink that?
Are we calling AEP? Is it just
Yeah.
juice?
Yeah, it was grape juice. It was grape juice.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
And you had your family in town too, didn't you?
Yeah. Yeah, so that was another funny story. So my girlfriend she started coming to races this year. She came to Daytona and St. Petersburg. And so she was there. And then my mom's very busy, so she never got to come to many of my car races. She went to a lot of my go-kart races, but this was actually my first MX5 Cup race weekend that she was able to go to. My dad
Hell
comes
yeah.
all on, he's retired, so he just comes travels with me all the time. But my mom, she's very busy, so she was able to come to this one. So that was pretty special to have her there, and winning in front of her. Just having the whole family there as well was very special. And then just back to what I was saying about the podium, just going up to the podium, and I was getting interviewed by different news outlets and like racer magazines and stuff, and that was really cool. Just taking pictures with all the fans and signing autographs. And then I signed a hat for a guy after you get like 15 hats after you get a podium, and so I threw one of them to a fan and signed it for him. That was really cool. I really cherish the fan experiences. I think that's one of my favorite parts about the series is just how many fans come out to watch it and how many fans think it's cool. Because to me, in my head, I'm still just a 20-year-old college kid. Like I'm not, a NASCAR Cup Series driver, an F1 driver. Like I'm in my head right now, I'm just I'm just a regular kid. And so it's really cool seeing all the people care about the sport and want to get my autograph and want to get pictures of me. And that's the stuff I love. And that's my favorite part about getting this level, and that's what like drives me to grow beyond it. Is just see how many people care about me and the series. It's amazing to see.
Big dog. How old's Jared? Is Jared around your age, or is he like a lot older than you?
Is Jared's a little bit older. I don't want to overage him. I want to say he's like 28 or 29.
Yeah,
If he sees us and
life's
he's like
over.
24, Jared, I'm sorry. I don't know 100%. I want to say he's
Hey, oh
like
God, old as
later
hell. Ugh.
20s. He actually has a very good story. His background. He won the Mazda scholarship back in 2020. I believe at that point they gave you about $100,000 to race MX5 Cup, and him and his dad basically just bought a MX5 Cup car with that and started their own race team. And he started working on other people's cars and started, driving cars around for other people and having a tent space for the cars. And he started his own team from that. And I really respect that. I think that's really cool. It's really cool for him to do. And now he's grown it to where I think they've got like 10 or 12 MX5 Cup cars. He's got Porsche Cup cars he's running. He was at Miami racing with F1 stuff on the Porsche Cup.
For the GT3 Cup, yeah.
So, yeah, it's really cool that how he's grown that program. So I give him a ton of props for what he's done with all the Mazda stuff. But he's a very cool guy to race against. I tested one of his cars actually. I tested his car before I started racing MX5 Cup full time. He was one of the first guys I tested with in the car. He got me set up, gave me a lot of notes. So Jared's a really cool guy. I give Jared a lot of credit when I can. He's a great guy to be around.
Nice.
So super impressive. Obviously, huge congrats. I think there's a lot of like cool takeaways you got from that experience too, which is awesome to hear. I guess for me, now that you got like your first win on MX5 Cup, what's the next first that you're looking most forward to?
Definitely. I think the next one is probably a weekend sweep. So we do 2 races a weekend. I really want to get both in one weekend. I think that'll be super cool. I think we've got the car for it. We've got everything's kind of coming together right now. I think we've definitely got the opportunity for it, especially at Mid Ohio. That's a track I've had a lot of success at in the past. So I want to get a weekend sweep and then obviously just the championship. That's our main goal right now as a team is just getting the championship. It helps a lot as a driver. We get from the championship. It's a big check they write to you.
Wouldn't suck. And
Yeah, that'd be a great payday.
You're third right now in the drivers, and then where like the team is like and you told me last time it's like whatever the higher score is from each round, right? So where do you guys rank on the team standings?
That I'm actually not sure. I don't think they post the team standings until the end of the year. I'm sure I could go do the math, but I'm sure. I think we're leading. I want to say because I finished second at Daytona, and then Jeremy won at Daytona, and then I believe Jeremy had a good result at St. Pete, and then I won St. Pete race 2. So I believe we're leading the team championship right now.
Oh,
Pretty solid. So I
I
hope we
need
get
some
that one.
merch.
Yeah.
I need some merch, some MMR merch, bro.
Yeah, I know. I'm working on it. Stay tuned. It's coming.
Hell yeah.
Typical Matt bandwagon fan. Of course, he finds the guy with the team leading, right?
Hey,
Okay.
I'm buying low. Hey, we recorded before the first race of the season.
Yeah, that's right.
Like
Yeah.
maybe I'm the good luck charm. I
Yeah,
won't take that
that
much
might be
credit,
it.
but I think it might be mom in the stand. Might be the good luck charm.
Yeah, she's coming to more races for sure.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
she must have been nervous. It went badly in round 2. She would have been caught.
Yeah, she'll be
Caught
out.
from spectating.
Yeah, she'll be back
Oh,
at
yeah.
home watching
I'm
on
actually
TV.
even busier now. Sorry, Justin. Yeah.
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 Oh, Justin would be like getting busier.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. All right. Any other closing remarks? Anything else that stuck out to you, Charles?
I mean, like, obviously the racing is sick. Like, all sports car racing is awesome. It's just like such a more like raw, kind of like pure display of talent. So it's always fun to see. I did have questions about the car. Was that a sequential gearbox you're running? I couldn't tell
Yes.
based on the video.
Yeah,
Sequential. Okay.
Yeah, it's a
Gotcha.
6-speed sequential gearbox.
Okay. Yeah, I
What's
bet
that
they're fun
mean?
to sell to drive.
Yeah, it is. It's the sequential means that there's no compared to like an H pattern car, like a manual car, where like a manual car you have to use the clutch to put it in gear, like first gear, and then pull the lever back to second gear, third gear. The sequential car literally you push it forward, you go down a gear, pull it back to go up a gear, and you don't have to lift off the throttle, don't have to use the clutch at all. It's strictly just you just pretty much just bang, 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 like you're just hitting it, pull it back to upshift. So it makes it's fun and it's not like I've raced H pattern cars before, and it's takes more skill and it's a little bit different, but like this is so fun where you just go into a corner, like you hit the brakes really hard, just bang, 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 banging down gears and like stuff like that, and it makes cool sounds too when you're when you're just rolling around a paddock. It's like the transmission whine. That's really cool. But yeah, it's a sequential gearbox, so that it's they've been running it in the series for about 5 or 6 years now. And yeah,
I was
it's pretty
about to
cool.
ask when they switched over because for some reason I thought they were still using the H pattern, but
Yeah, it's been since
yeah.
2020 or 2021 is when they switched over.
Cool. Oh yeah. Well, I think that's a good way to end this episode. Looking forward to the next race win. Film breakdown. This is always a ton of fun.
Yeah, always fun.
Oh yeah. What's the next race?
Mid Ohio. It's 2 weeks now, I believe. We'll be out there. That should be a fun one. I mean, I've been pretty fast at that track. Yeah, I finished 5th there last year, and then I ran there in Spec MX5, so the NC Miata. And it's a different series. It's a less competitive series, but I won both the races there that weekend, so I've got some experience winning there. So I
Oh
should have a
yeah.
good shot.
June 5th through
Dog.
7th if you wanna tune in. I think the last question I got to wrap it up is confidence wise, like how does like now getting to stand in the top step, how does that affect your psyche now, your confidence going into this next round?
Yeah, it's definitely an all-time high. I think like it's such a good feeling knowing that you can do it. Like you always have those questions before you get the first one. Like you always have that question to yourself, like, am I ever going to be like good enough to win, or am I just kind of stuck finishing like 3rd or 2nd place? Like, so just getting that one to like kind of validate yourself is really good. But confidence is definitely an all-time high right now. Especially we were actually at Indianapolis Motor Speedway about a month or so ago, doing just an official series test. It wasn't a race weekend. It was just, like 15 MX5 Cup cars testing, and I was fastest in all but 2 sessions, all but 2 of the 8 sessions. So that was pretty cool. So that definitely showed that we have a ton of pace, and the car is very fast right now, and we have the capabilities to do it. So just all-time high confidence right now.
Oh yeah, onwards and upwards, my brother, onwards and
Yep,
upwards.
for sure.
Yeah, dude, and he won on merit. Like it wasn't